You're going to begin this workout with a warm-up, starting with arm circles, standing tall, feet hip width apart. Extend your arms straight out to the sides at shoulder height, and then begin circling your arms forward in large, controlled movements, gradually increasing the size. Then, once you've opened up the shoulders a bit, you're going to reverse the direction, and you're going to give me backward circles for another 15 to 20 seconds. You should feel a gentle stretch through your shoulders and your upper arms. Try to avoid shrugging your shoulders up to your ears. Forward arm circles, then backward arm circles. For your high knee marches, you will stand with your feet hip width apart, core engaged. As you lift one knee upward toward your chest, keep your torso upright. Lower it, repeat the other leg, alternate in a controlled marching rhythm. Here you will pump your arms naturally with your elbows by your side. Next up, you'll move into a bodyweight squat where you will stand once again with your feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned outward, keeping your chest up, pushing your hips back as you lower into a squat. Drive through your heels to return to standing. Your knees should track over your toes without collapsing inward. Engage your glutes, your quads, and core. You should feel no discomfort in your knees here. For standing quadriceps stretch or quad pulls, as we like to call them, stand tall. Grab your right ankle, pull it toward your glute while keeping your knees together. Here, keep your core tight, your chest lifted, hold briefly, and switch sides. You should feel a stretch in the front of your thigh without arching your lower back. One leg at a time, alternate your quad pulls. Moving into that alternating toe touch, stand with your feet hip width apart, extending your right arm to reach toward your left toe as you kick that leg out in front of you, keeping your back straight. Then you'll return to the other side and switch. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings here and your lower back, but try to avoid rounding out your spine. Next up, you'll do a calf raise as you reach your arms up, pull those shoulder blades down, rise onto your toes while reaching your arms overhead. Lower your heels back down, pulling your shoulder blades back down and back. You should feel a stretch through your calves and engagement in your shoulders. For your jumping jacks, start with your feet together, hands at your sides, then jump, feet out, raising your arms overhead, returning to start. Maintain a steady pace. This light cardio engagement will help get you warmed up for your full body workout. For your first move, you're going to start with a squat position, holding a dumbbell or your kettlebell at your chest, feet shoulder width apart. Lower into a squat, keeping the weight in your heels and your chest lifted. You want to drive up, standing, pressing the weight overhead, fully extending your arms. Lower back down, weight to your chest, and repeat. Here you'll feel engagement in your glutes and your quads during the squat, core stability, and shoulder strength during that press. Sit into the squat and then drive up. For your next move, you will hold that dumbbell between your legs, lower into a deep squat, pressing your knees outward. You want to come halfway up, pause, then return to your full squat depth before standing full. You're squatting down halfway and then full standing. Squat, half up, squat, full. Squat, go halfway up, squat, standing full. You should feel a strong activation in your quads and glutes here, keeping your core engaged and your spine neutral. For your high knee march, you're going to lift your knees while bracing your core, holding the dumbbell on one side, which should challenge your balance here. Maintain an upright posture as you march the length of your mat here. Again, keeping your core tight. You're going to feel an activation of your hip flexors and core stabilization as you go from side to side. You're going to march the length of your mat here. Again, walking, bringing that knee to the midline, bracing your core. alternating the sides that you hold your dumbbell on for your farmer's carry high knee march with one weight as you alternate sides. Walking in a straight line, try to avoid leaning to one side here, switch hands, and repeat. Your core engagement here will help prevent tilting. For your dumbbell or kettlebell swing, you want to stand with your feet wider than shoulder width, hinge at your hips, bringing the weight between your legs. Explosively thrust your hips forward, swinging the weight to shoulder height. You want to control and then return to swing and repeat. A powerful drive from your glutes and hamstrings is what you should feel here. Avoid using your arms to lift. Your glutes and hamstrings are doing all the work here as you hinge at your hips, bring the weight between your legs, and then explosively thrust your hips forward to bring that weight up to your shoulder height. For your next move, you're giving me a bent over row with a narrow grip, hinging forward with a flat back, engaging your core. Pull the weight toward your midline here, keeping the elbows close to your ribs. Lower the weight and then repeat. You're doing this with one weight in the middle, and for the next bent over row, you're going to do a single arm bent over row here. For that single arm row, you will remain leaning over, hinging forward with a flat back, core engaged as you pull the weight to one side here, keeping that elbow close to your ribs. Again, keeping one arm straight ahead, bracing your core, pulling the weight toward one side. You're going to do all of your reps on one side, and then you're going to switch to the left side again, squeezing between the shoulder blades as you maintain a strong core and a neutral spine. Next, we move into your snatch. You can take your dumbbell or kettlebell, start with the weight on the floor as you hinge your hips, and then pull it up explosively. As you drive through your hips, you want to pull that weight overhead in one smooth motion. It should almost feel like you're using the weight to zip up a jacket. So you're pulling your elbow back as you pull that weight all the way up toward your shoulder, letting the elbow lead the way. Then you want to lower it back down under control here. Power is in your hips. Control your shoulders. Try to avoid overextending your lower back. You're going to repeat on the other side. Next up, you are going to get on the floor for a Russian twist where you drop the weight. Sit with your feet elevated or on the floor, holding the weight at your chest. You can rotate your torso side to side as you touch the weight down and then pick it back up. You're going to twist, touch the weight down, pick it back up, and then alternate. You should feel the engagement in your obliques and your core. And keep your back straight. Do this one on repeat 20 times total or 10 times for each side for 20 total Russian twists with a dropped weight. For your toe touch crunch, you're going to stay on the ground here, lie on your back, extend your legs up toward the ceiling, flexing your feet, holding the weight overhead. You're going to crunch up to reach your toes. Now lower down with control, reach up toward your toes, lower with control. Here, you want to have that strong core contraction here. Avoid straining your neck. Do that by tilting your chin down. So you tuck your chin and you crunch up, feeling that contraction in your core as you reach, trying to get that weight to your toes. You're going to give me 20 of these as well. For your last core exercise here, we're going to move into some flutter kicks. So lie on your back, Press the weight up straight into the air over your chest. Keep your legs extended and then alternate, kicking them up and down and up and down, keeping those toes pointed and your lower back pressed into the ground. You'll feel your lower abdominals engaging here. Control the movement and avoid arching your back here. You're going to do all of these exercises on repeat for 3 to 4 rounds with a 90-second break in between.